Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Humanity First fundraising dinner for East Africa Famine Relief. My name is Mubashir Khalid. I'm the Director of Marketing for Humanity First, and I will be your host for the evening. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you on behalf of the entire team of Humanity First. Many of you are regular to our events. We have gathered here a few times in the past few years for Pakistan flood relief, for a Haiti earthquake, for Asia tsunami. We are here again to help humanity in a different part of the world. A deadly combination of drought, ongoing conflict, escalating food prices has placed over 12.4 million people in need of life-saving aid across Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. Over 2.5 million children under 5 are acutely malnourished and are in an emergency situation. This is more than a food crisis. It is a crisis for survival of humanity. The UN has declared that in these famine zones, almost 10% of children under the age of 5 will die every 3 months. Dear friends, you have supported us with great sacrifice and dedication. Words are not enough to thank you for your continued support in our cause of putting humanity first. The program of this evening is unique to what we're usually accustomed to. As we're holding this event during the holy month of Ramadan, the month of fasting, majority of our guests this evening are Muslims and are fasting. The program this evening is as follows. We will first start our program with the opening remarks and silent prayers for the victims of Africa famine, followed by a presentation by the chairman of Humanity First. Then we will hear from our guest speakers, followed by short speeches and theirs on the topic of helping those in need. Respected Mubarak Nazir Sahib will talk about what our responsibilities and obligations are and how should we respond to those in need. Then around 8:20 p.m. we will have Adhan, call for prayers. This is a Muslim call for prayers to mark the time of sunset and breaking of fast. This will be followed by the evening prayers in the adjacent hall on your left hand. At approximately 8:30 p.m. buffet dinner will be served, and we're aiming to end the program by 9:30 p.m. as I know most of you have to get up early in the morning for prayers and to go to work. I would like to now start the program by inviting Mr. Lal Khan Malik, President of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada, to please start the program for us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of you. We are going through the Muslim month of Ramadan. Ramadan teaches us spiritual discipline. It enables us to become more righteous and more conscious of the needs of those who are around us. The whole of the world has now become a village, and what is happening around the world, we instantly know it. One of the calamities of the modern times is that despite the vast resources the world has now got, mountains of food available in some countries, 11 million people in East Africa are facing the worst drought of the decade. We cannot remain indifferent to what is happening to these millions who have become our neighbors because we know their plight instantly. While Ramadan teaches us righteousness, it is part of righteousness to be conscious of the needs of those who are in need of our help. On this blessed occasion, I urge the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and our other guests that they should open their hearts to the need of these millions and provide food and drink so that they can add lives, years to their lives. We would begin this event with a silent prayer that Allah may enable all of us to realize what is our responsibility at the time of hour of the need, and that He may enable us to offer whatever is possible for us to offer on this occasion. Please join me in the silent prayer that Allah may bless this event, Allah may make this effort successful, and Allah may enable humanity first to reach those who are in need and provide new life to them who are starving. Please join me in the silent prayer. Ameen. May Allah accept our prayers.
I would now like to invite Dr. Hassan Daud, who is the chairman of Humanity First, to please come to the stage for the opening remarks as well.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I welcome you all on behalf of Humanity First to come to this very noble cause, which is to support the relief effort that we are doing in Northeast Africa. I have a very long presentation, but I'm going to save time because we are running late today, and as you can see that the people are still stuck on traffic. I'm receiving calls that they're on their way, and because of month of fasting, they prefer to come at the time of breaking the fast. It's much preferable at that time. So we'll do the presentation during the dinner time, and at this time I'm just going to tell you that by God's grace there is a large number of volunteers in Northeast Africa who are helping those who are in need, and the reports that we are getting from them tells us that people are not starved for a day or 2 days, but it's month of starving. The news has just arrived. The news has come very slowly when people, especially the children, they have been affected in a very bad way. They have been malnourished for months, some years, and there is about 10% of those children who are affected, they are dying on a daily basis. That's a huge number. So today, when we are all fasting, we can just feel what pain they are going through, and then just multiply that by months of the same feeling. They get used to it. For them, food once a day is more than enough. Mothers are ready to fight. They are willing to kill to feed their children. That's the news that we are getting. There are gangs who are looting the food. The food arrived, and people who had power, strength, they stole the food. We take something for granted. Today you're going to enjoy a meal after fasting for the day. For them, just a small piece of bread is a luxurious item. It's a matter of life and death, that small piece of bread and water. Because of this shortage, because of lack of cleanliness, there is disease prevailing now. There are people who are just at the verge of collapsing. There's such an apathy at this time over there that they have given up hope, and it's up to the world. United Nations is saying things are going to get worse until October, and if the world does not come to rescue, there billions of dollars have been allocated. But allocation is one thing, And providing the food is another thing. That allocation transforms into food through a very long and tedious process. And I have that personal experience that when we get donation from you, I'm thankful to all of you that you have donated, but your dollar, your money that comes to us, there is a long process when it gets converted into the form where it is beneficial for someone. We have to send this money over there. We have chosen the cheapest and the fastest method. Humanity First is a unique organization that has got network in over 100 countries. We are registered in 34 countries, but we have network over there. So we had volunteers over there. We deployed 70 volunteers, which is a large number, 70 volunteers for this work. And the money was transferred immediately through the banks. Purchases were made locally. Convoys were sent. It took about 1 week for one trip to take the food from a safe area where the food is available to an affected area or to the camp. And then there was security threat, life threats. We had to have armed people to guard us. And then the food was distributed in very cautious way. You know, you won't imagine, it's not easy that you just hand over the food to someone. What you do to protect yourself, to save yourself, is you hand out a coupon so that nobody can steal it. And then that coupon is taken by the victim to a guarded and protected compound where the food package is handed over to them. And then that food is transferred. So your dollar today gets converted into food in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks time for organizations like us. When bureaucracy comes in, it takes months and years. When in my presentation I'm going to tell you that after about 2 years, Haiti is still suffering. The money that was raised around the world has not reached the affected people in Haiti. So I thank you very much with this. I'm going to invite Dr. Christy Duncan, as she has to leave today early. So she would come and speak, and after that we're going to have the dars.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. This is the blessed month, and I want to wish all of you a very happy Ramadan. Why I love this month is because it reminds us to be close to our family. It reminds us of the difference we want to make in the world. And it makes us keenly aware to go without. And I am so grateful to all of you, to Humanity First, for the work you're doing in Somalia. I understand there's already 70 people working there. As you've heard, there are 12 million people at risk right now. 400,000 children are at risk of dying, and Somalia really has been neglected for 3 decades. It's under development. We have emergency needs, and going forward, it's going to be building for the future, sustainable communities, having drought-resistant seeds, planning for irrigation. But my brothers, my sisters, I wish I had better words to say thank you to all of you for the work you do here in our community, for the work you do in Canada, the difference you make in Canada, but the difference you make around the world, in Pakistan, in Haiti, in Japan, and now Somalia. It is humbling, it is overwhelming to know you. It is an honor and a privilege to call you my friends. Please accept my heartfelt thanks. And this community has one of the largest Somali populations in all of Canada. Our community is hurting, and you're making such a difference. Thank you all. Bahut bahut shukriya. And I'd like to call up my colleague and friend, who I know you know very well, Mr. Jimmy Karagianis.
I'll be coming back for a second take, but I'm arm twisted to read the message from our leader. But I do join Dr. Christy Duncan, and we together bring you the message from the leader of the Liberal Party, Mr. Ray, and it goes as follows. It's with humble admiration that I extend greetings to everyone attending tonight's Iftar. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Humanity First and all of their organizers or volunteers who have made this event possible. The situation in the Horn of Africa is causing human suffering on a scale not seen ever since the famine of the 1980s. This crisis is exacerbating the situation in a region already being hit by numerous social, economic, and political challenges. I recently had the honor of hosting a town hall meeting with members of the Somali, Ethiopian, and Kenyan communities. I was overcome by the stories of this unfolding tragedy, but also encouraged by the spirit to assist our brothers and sisters in that part of the world. I would like to commend the work Humanity First is doing to help alleviate the immense suffering and pain this disaster is causing, especially in the face of difficulties distributing relief aid. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who have suffered the loss of loved ones and those who still hunger. On behalf of the Liberal Party and our Liberal Parliamentary Caucus, please accept my warmest regards and best wishes for the evening. And at this point, I would like to call Mr. Malik and Mr. Aslam Dawood, and we would like to present the certificate to you. Please join us.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you, Jim. Many of you already know Dr. Christy Duncan, but just in case you don't, I'm just going to briefly introduce her. Christy Duncan is a Canadian medical geographer and current MP for the Liberal Party of Canada for the Etobicoke North. She currently serves as the House of Commons Standing Committee on Health. Since we have a slight change in the program, I now like to request respected Mubarak Nazir Sahib, who is the President of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada and Missionary in Charge, to please come to the stage for his speech.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين ويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. Ladies and gentlemen, we are passing through the holy month of Ramadan. It's a month of blessing. We have already completed almost 18 fasts today. Another 12 to go, inshallah ta'ala. This is a month where we give sacrifice. We have given up even all that was legal, food, drink, our conjugal relations, entirely for the pleasure of Allah. Teaches us the lesson that how dare we touch something that is illegal. Even the legal have been abandoned, as Amir Sahib was just speaking a short while ago. I have read one verse, one surah of the Holy Quran. That Allah Ta'ala says, should I tell you, the person who rejects religion, it's that person who drives away the orphan. He does not urge the feeding of the poor. So woe to those who pray, but they are unmindful of their prayer. And they like to be seen by men, and they withhold legal alms. The other short 3 verses that I recited, the translation is that so do not oppress the orphan. Do not chide him. Do not rebuke him who comes to you for help. And the bounty that Allah has bestowed upon you, you should also show it by helping others. You and I have seen all the television programs where we see children, elders drinking water from dirty ponds. We have clean water. I took a tumbler of water this morning and I remembered those people in Africa, in Somalia, in Mogadishu, in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Sudan, one of the rich countries of oil, Darfur, striving for clean water. It's not long that I have just returned from a West African country called Sierra Leone. And these images that you see on the television, I have physically seen those images myself. People drinking dirty water. People looking at garbage bins, taking out stale bread, old used tins of sardine, and licking the little that is sticking. By the grace of Allah, we are an affluent nation. And God the Almighty has said in these verses which I have just recited, وَلَا يُهُزُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. They do not urge one another to the feeding of the poor. This particular verse has been mentioned twice in the Holy Quran. وَلَا يُهُزُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. They do not urge one another to the feeding of the poor. By the grace of Allah, as I said, we have enough. In one of these verses where this verse appears, God has said in the Holy Quran that on the day of judgment, the people will be divided into two parties. It's a long verse. They'll be given their books in the right hand, and some will be given books in their left hand. And those who are given the books in their left hand the angels will be asked to fetter them, to tie them up in chains and hurl them into hell. And one of the reasons was, وَلَا يُهُزُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. They never urged one another to the feeding of the poor. We are all one community. This is humanity. Forget about the pigment of our skin, or the language we speak, or the dress that we wear. We're all the children of God. It's our duty that whatever God has provided us with, we should show compassion. This world is a transitory world. We're all living, we are all on a moving belt. If not today, tomorrow, we will be claimed by the funeral homes, by the pallbearers. Everything will be left. It's just this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I was reading the Bible. You know, God has said in the Holy Quran, "Fiha hudam wa noor." There is guidance and light also in the Bible. And I was reading when Jesus said that people sometimes preserve their riches in vaults, in safes. Sometimes the moths, sometimes the ants eat away those notes that they have hidden, or they lie hidden and they die. He said, why don't you invest in a treasure, in a wallet, where no thief can temper that wallet? Spend in the way of Allah. Spend in the cause of humanity. Then your wallet, no thief, no more. People have lost billions of dollars. You must have seen how America was degraded from a 3+ to a probably 2+ something. And look at the tumbling of the market. People are running here and there. They want to invest their money, maybe in bonds, maybe in gold, skyrocketing. But the Prophet of God, Jesus Christ, mind that clarion call when he said, you want to invest? Invest in a treasure that you will meet on the day of judgment. Spend your wealth in a cause where you will meet it on the day of judgment. So out of what God has provided us, if God has provided us with knowledge, God has provided us with health, God has provided us with money, maybe with time, maybe with clothes. Look, I have seen people, I have seen girls and boys almost half naked. I have lived in Africa for more than 2 decades, almost 3 decades. People hardly able to cover their nakedness. And we change our dress every 2-3 days. So let us make hay while the sun shines. Let us spend in the cause of Allah, in the cause of humanity. Humanity is suffering. Look, we may be a small community, humanity first. What can we do? 70 odd volunteers have been sent, working day and night. I remember one incident once. They said that there was a castle on fire. There was a big, huge building and it was on fire. And people were taking their buckets and trying to quench the fire, there was a sparrow. And what the sparrow was doing, it would go to the river, pick up one drop in its beak, throw it on the fire. And then it would run back, fly back, and take another drop, and another drop. So doing, it got burnt. And someone said, "Why? What is wrong with you? The fire is raging. People with buckets are not able to quench. Why did you put your life in danger? What can come in your beak? Less than a drop of water." He said, "Whatever I can do, I will do it." That is what God said in the Holy Quran. That we all have our own capacities. Whatever capacity we have, we will undertake that capacity. We will try to help. We will try to help our brethren, our sisters, who are starving, who are dying of hunger. And that is what the Holy Quran also, this other verses that I recited, the Holy Prophet was reminded, do not chide do not rebuke the man who comes to ask for help. The people in Somalia, the people in Ethiopia, the people in Kenya, the people in Haiti, no one is here. But I can hear their voices. I can visualize their voices. I can hear them sobbing. I can hear them raising their hand. So go to them. By the grace of Allah, we have this humanity first. And I'm not saying, my dear brothers and sisters, because we have a major interest in the work of humanity first, but it is the only organization with such a high percentage of the dollar that you pay going direct to the people. So whatever God has provided you, somebody pays $2, somebody pays $2,000. Once Jesus Christ was collecting some funds, and rich people came and they brought a lot of money, huge sums of money. And an old widow also came, and she brought 2 coins of copper, 2 old coins of copper. And he put those 2 coins over there. And the noble prophet Jesus Christ said, he said, all those people who have brought these hundreds and thousands of pounds or whatever, you cannot compete with this lady. You gave what was surplus. She gave whatever she had, her entire earnings. You gave just your surplus, the one that you did not need. But she gave whatever she had. So it's the 2 coppers we are after. It is the 2 coins that we are after. So let us make no mistake. We are accountable. مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Whatever God has provided, He will take account of that. Look at the teachings of Moses. Go to Judaism, go to Hinduism, go to Sikhism, go to any religion. Talking about giving alms. We have a system of zakat in Islam, in Muslims. So, let us do it with pleasure. Although we are just going to see our friend Jimmy will come and we will again pay, because the Holy Quran says you do not only do it in private, but you do it also in public. Although the Bible says that the left hand should do something and the right hand should not know, because you do it entirely for the pleasure of Allah. But in addition to that, we also do it so that we invite, encourage other people also to spend in the cause of Allah. So may the Lord richly bless you. May Allah Ta'ala grant you wealth. فَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. If God has provided you with, look, we take $10. It's a lot of money in Africa. It's a big sum of money. I remember giving somebody 10 pounds when I was in Africa, and I was a bit embarrassed, and I could see that glow on his face. I saw a watchman who was sick, who could not walk properly. I saw people who were hungry, people who were destitute. I saw girls who were absolutely ready to sell themselves just to have a morsel of food for the night. We have so much. Man is a queer. He spends millions and millions of dollars to go to space, but spends trillions in order to make weapons of mass destruction. He would prefer to throw that surplus butter, that European surplus butter, into the sea, so that the price of butter is stabilized. And they're able to keep up with that price. While the people are dying, the people are starving. They do not have water to drink. Are we not lucky, sir? We live in a country with all these hills and valleys, with all these lakes of sweet water. We have sweet water that runs in our flush tanks, clear drinking water. And people do not have water to drink. Now they are thinking of how to recycle that flush water, that water in the sewerage, so that it is made fit for drink. So while we have that advantage, it is the teaching of the Holy Quran, it is the teaching of the Bible, it is the teaching of the Old Testament. There are hundreds of verses in the Bible, in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, in the Holy Quran, in the teaching of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the teaching of all prophets. 124,000 prophets spend in the cause of Allah, because that is the treasure which is safeguarded. No moth, no ant, it can never be devalued. So while you clamor and run to secure your money, secure it in a vault where no one dare touch, where when we die we will meet that treasure. May the Lord richly bless you. May Allah Ta'ala, may God the Almighty help our Humanity First volunteers. You see a few of them over here, but there are countless people working in the background, working in different centers. We say thank you, and we will support you, and we will help you. We will do all that is possible, because you are our pride, you are our jewel, and it is important that we equip them with the right equipment, with the finances, so that they can help humanity. When I say humanity first, I want you all to say Zindabad, meaning that may it live forever. Humanity first. Zindabad.
Once again, I'm here to acknowledge some of our supporters and donors. We have about 7 or 8 minutes before the Iftar or the breaking of the fast time. So before that, I'm going to first recognize Police Foundation, Canadian Law Enforcement Training College. Their representatives are here today who are assisting us in the arrangements of this function and also providing logistic support. So we are very grateful to all the volunteers from Canadian Law Enforcement Training College and Police Foundation. Thank you very much for being here and for assisting her. This is a complimentary donation from them, this service that they are providing today. They are very generous enough to offer us $10,000 of goods for children. They have given us to send it to the affected people in Somalia and Kenya. So we are very much thankful to them for donating $10,000 worth of children items, which includes clothing, toys, and household items. So thank you very much, Canadian Police Foundation, for this generous donation. I'm also thankful to ATN and Rawal TV. They are our media partners today, and Rawal TV has provided us some promotional videos for our website as well. So we are very thankful for their support, and they're covering this event today, and they will be contacting you today also for some interviews. So we appreciate your help. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ATN, for being here and recording our event. We appreciate that. To hold this kind of event, there are hundreds of volunteers who worked behind the scenes. It will be very difficult for me to read the name of all the volunteers who have been working across Canada, but I can assure you that these are the selfless volunteers. They are doing this service here so that our other volunteers who are on the ground, who have risked their life, they can do their part of job, and it goes hand in hand. The effort that we are making here to raise funds and the money that is transferred over there and used by other volunteers, they go hand in hand. So I request you to remember in your prayers all the volunteers who are working here in Canada and other countries to generate funds, and all those volunteers who are on the ground in very dangerous situation helping those victims in your special prayers. You know that Government of Canada has offered to match $1 for $1 for any donation received for Northeast Africa. This offer is valid until September 15. So all those who have donated today, your money today or before or until September 15th, that money is doubled already. The Government of Canada is going to match it and spend that money in Africa on behalf of people of Canada. So this is an excellent opportunity to maximize your donation. It's a commitment from the government. We are thankful to them, and the beneficiaries will be those people who desperately need this help.